You're watching Extras from the Extension on Eagle Community Television. This show is brought to you by Carico Implement.
Well, as the weather's been getting warmer here in recent weeks, we've been starting to get a few more calls about trees that are not looking so good. And so I've been out looking at several things, especially the evergreen trees like I'm standing next to here. And you notice that this tree has some significantly brown needles. Some of the branches just aren't looking too good. And this is probably a result of some winter injury. But on top of that, we have extreme drought going on right now. And so a lot of this could be attributed to drought stress as well. Now, I'm standing next to a relatively young tree. I know this tree hasn't been here for all that long. And so that certainly is a factor. Those newly planted trees, even if they were planted 2 years ago, still need regular moisture to maintain that foliage. With the winds and the drought and the lack of moisture that we have been experiencing, these trees continue to lose moisture out of those needles all winter long, even if there's no moisture in the soil to take up. This certainly could be a result of being that young tree, but it could also be the drought, as I mentioned. I've been looking at a lot of spruce trees in particular. Spruce in general are shallow rooted. They tend to have a lot of environmental stress in our area of the state anyway. But when you top that with the extreme conditions we've been experiencing lately, we're seeing big mature spruce trees just completely start to decline and die. So if you have a spruce tree that's starting to lose needles, maybe lose branches here or there, just know that it's not likely to be a disease. We typically don't have disease problems on spruce here, but it is most likely due to the drought. The bad thing about drought stress on trees, which drought can certainly affect any of the trees that we have in our area, but the bad thing is that a lot of times we don't notice those symptoms until a couple years later. So there's a delayed response with drought a lot of times on trees. The trees may look fine for a couple of years, even though we've had some tough conditions, and then all of a sudden they start to show those symptoms. Maybe on deciduous trees, maybe there's limbs dying back, maybe they've not leafed out like they should have, maybe the leaves are much smaller. Younger trees may have bark splitting. There's lots of different symptoms that could be attributed to drought stress. So if you have questions in particular about your trees and your landscape, or you have some issues that you want diagnosed, please contact your local extension office for more information.
You're watching Extras from the Extension on Eagle Community Television. This show is brought to you by Carico Implement.
Spring is here, and that means it's time to come out and visit Carico Implement in Hays, Kansas for all your lawn care needs. We stock and sell the full line of John Deere riding lawn equipment, along with Honda walk-behind mowers and generators. We also offer the full lineup of steel power products. If your project requires even more muscle, check out our full lineup of John Deere compact tractors and skid loaders. And don't forget, we have the parts and services to keep you up and running all spring long. So whatever your spring lawn care and maintenance needs are, come on out to Carico Implement for a solution that fits.